Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Temple Beth Or. For those who haven't been here for a while, thank you for joining us on our installation evening. We have some upcoming events. There's a Brotherhood meeting on Sunday morning, or half a day. The following Sunday is Sisterhood Retreat, and the following Sunday is the Board Retreat. So we're kind of busy here, and a bunch of other things going on. I just wanted to remind you, there's a box in the foyer that Rita put out. We're collecting talits and tefillin for an organization called Kulanu, and they help with emerging Jewish organizations around the world. So if you have anything, old ones left over, whatever. And I'll try not to talk too much because I'm getting over a cough. And I just want to thank Rabbi Mark and Dee for filling in, and Dr. Ray. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you very much, Leslie, for the announcements, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Always good to be together, come to the end of a week to gather with community, with friends, with family, to reconnect with our tradition, to reconnect with each other. Those of you joining us at home on YouTube, I invite you to make sure you've set out some candles, maybe some challah, your favorite Shabbat beverage, which we will share at the end of our Shabbat services when we do the Kiddush and have the opportunity to share together in those joyous symbols of our Shabbat. And in addition to the announcements that Leslie has shared, we have Shabbat greetings from Sergio Sanchez-Gutzman, Rita and Bob Rubin, and the Mignella family. And I wish to acknowledge that Sergio, Rita, and Eileen Mignella are here with us. Rita is a member of our board. Rita, welcome to our board. We'll have a chance to formally install you this very evening. And we have a Shabbat shout-out. And thank you for your continued support of our Shabbat greetings, an opportunity that we started way back in the days when we were not able to gather together and had to conduct our services all online. Thank you for your continued support of our congregation. And a Shabbat shout-out, a big thank you to the outgoing TBO board members for their hard work during the past year, and a welcome to the 22-23 Temple Beth Or board. We'll have a chance to meet them and learn more about them later on in our service. As we come to this special place in our hearts and in our community, as we come to this special time in our week, let us set aside the trials and tribulations of this past week. Let us make sure our cell phones are switched to the off and the silent position so that we might share this time without interruption. Shabbat is this great opportunity for us to pause, to reflect, to take stock of where we are, and hopefully gain some bearings on where we'd like to go. If you don't know where you are going, then anywhere you end up will be just fine. And that's not part of our tradition. Our people have always felt a direction, a call to a particular purpose, a particular path. We wandered for 40 years because that generation, so engraved in the slavery mentality of not thinking for itself, was unable to determine a path, how they wanted to go, how they wanted to live. It took divine intervention to teach us that we need to have a goal. Where do we want to end up? What kind of people do we want to be? What kind of a society do we want to live in? We cannot measure that if we do not pause and take a look at where we have been. So again, we might gain that bearing to find out where we would like to end up. The world is fast losing its soul, but you do not have to surrender yours. You do not have to live on a mechanical globe. You do not have to tame your deep forest passions. You do not have to suppress your radiant beauty. Live your joy. Go against the grain. Don't be made timid by worried rejection. Let nature's curious wisdom fill you. Let the world's mystical heritage guide you. Paint your canvases, play your tunes. Give your all to the words that are born from you. Your Father and your Father's heaven will never abandon you, but always love the scintilla of your spirit. We greet the Shabbat with the singing of L'cha Dodi. Come, my beloved, come, my friends, and let us welcome the presence of Shabbat in our lives.
Shabbat nekabla, nekabla, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom umevorach, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
I too want to acknowledge and thank Deneen Dyson for being our Cantorial Soloist last week and this week. If everything goes well, we will look forward to welcoming Cantor Stacey Morse to our Bima next Friday on the 15th. Watch your e-blast for confirmation of that, and then later on, probably in August, we'll hold a big official welcoming, giving her the opportunity to ease in to our congregation. I'm grateful for her continued healing, her continued therapy, and all is going well. I've had a chance to speak with her on numerous occasions, and so I look forward to her being able to join the Bima, hopefully next Friday. As these Shabbat lights, as we kindle these Shabbat lights, let us be moved by their light to bring light to those who dwell in darkness. Let us be moved by the warmth and the glow of these lights so that we might be a source of compassion to those facing struggles. May these lights inspire us to acts of justice and of peace. And as her official last duty as sort of pseudo-current president, because although we've had elections, we haven't uninstalled and installed yet, so her last official act, I invite Dina Jastrock, our soon-to-be officially past president of our congregation, to lead us in the lighting of our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, source of all being, who calls us to holy acts through mitzvot and inspires us to kindle these lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner
Source of all goodness, as we join in Shabbat worship, we ask your blessings. Grant us health enough to perform our daily tasks, wealth enough to answer our needs, compassion enough to feel the needs of others. Give us strength enough to recognize our faults, wisdom enough to understand your laws, loyalty enough to discharge our duties. Give us courage enough to be true to the best within us, charity enough to see the best in others. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to feel your presence. And let us all say, Amen. We continue with the words of our Baruch Hu. I invite us to rise as we are able for our call to worship. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvona meshanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Uma'avir yom umevi laila, uma'avdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimlo chalenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Hurt people hurt people. That's how pain patterns get passed on generation after generation. Break the chain. Meet anger with sympathy. Meet contempt with compassion. Meet cruelty with kindness. Greet grimaces with smiles. Forgive and forget about finding fault. Love. Love is the weapon of the future. You, the one from whom on different paths all of us have come, and to whom on different paths all of us are going. Make strong in our hearts what unites us. Help us to build bridges across all that divides us. United, help us to rejoice in our diversity, at one in our witness to your peace, a rainbow of your glory.
Adonai
We may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vedibarta baham beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. I, Miriam, stand at the sea and turn to face the desert, stretching endless and still. My eyes are dazzled, the sky a brilliant blue, sunburnt sands unyielding white. My hands turn to dove wings, my arms reach for the sky, and I want to sing the song rising inside me. My mouth open, I stop. Where are the words? Where is the melody? In a moment of panic, my eyes go blind. Can I take a step without knowing a destination? Will I falter? Will I fall? Will the ground sink away from under me? The song still unformed. How can I sing? To take the first step to sing a new song is to close one's eyes and dive into unknown waters. For a moment, knowing nothing, risking all. But then to discover the waters are friendly, the ground is firm. And the song rises again. Out of my mouth come words lifting the wind, and I hear for the first the song that has been in my heart, silent, unknown even to me. Yum bum bum bim bim bum yabba ba ba bim bum yum bum bum bim bim bum yabba ba ba bim bum I lie la lie 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 yabba ba ba bim bum I lie la lie 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 yabba ba ba bim bum mi kamocha bailim Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh norah Dilot, O Sefele, Nora Dilot, O Sefele, Malechutecha, Rauvanecha, Bokeh Ayam Lifnei, Moshe uMiriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. Help us, O God, to lie down in peace. But teach us that peace means more than just quiet. Remind us that if we are to be at peace at night, we must take heed how we live by day. Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep. Rid us of resentments and hatreds that rob us of the peace that we crave. Liberate us from enslaving habits that disturb us and give us no rest. May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit from another's loss. May we so live that we can face the whole world with serenity. May we feel no remorse at night for what we have done during the day. O God, may we lie down tonight in peace and awaken tomorrow to a richer and a fuller life. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'norotam berit olam beni uve'bnei Yisrael oti Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'norotam berit olam ki sezen yamim Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'norotam berit olam uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'norotam berit olam.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. I invite us to rise as we are able, as we continue with our tefillah, our prayers. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava. Melech Hoser u'Moshiach u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid ha'atal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofe cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh. We may be seated. From the cowardice that shrinks from new truth, from the laziness that is content with half-truths, from the arrogance that thinks it knows all truth, O God of truth, deliver us. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yirah na'avod. To be a Jew means to wake up and to keep your eyes open to the many beautiful, mysterious, and holy things that happen all around us every day. Many of them are like little miracles. When we wake up and see the morning light, when we taste food and grow strong, when we learn from others and grow wise, when we hug the people we love and feel warm, when we help those around us and feel good. All these and so much more are there for us every single day. But we must open our eyes to see them.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam.
We extend our prayers of shalom, of wholeness and peace to all who have found their very sense of shalom, their very sense of wholeness and peace shattered by the challenges they are facing, the challenges to their bodies and to their minds. We especially extend our prayers for hope and healing and strength to the people of the Chicago area who suffered such terrible tragedy in the shooting that took place over the July 4th weekend. Many of them are fellow brothers and sisters. In addition, we include all those who are facing illnesses and challenges to their health and to their well-being. In a moment, Deneen will lead us in our Misha Berach prayers of hope and healing, and I will invite you during the musical interlude between the paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one who is in need of such prayers and healing. Thus we might bring them here into this space, into our hearts at this time. May all who are facing challenges to their health and their well-being, all who have found their sense of shalom, wholeness, and peace disturbed, shattered, and perhaps even obliterated, may they be blessed on their journey, a journey that will bring them to a refuah shlema, a return to the wholeness they seek, the shalom that they desire, the peace that they once knew. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen. We take a moment to pause from our expressing of oral words, singing of melodies familiar and new, so that we might spend some time in silence, an opportunity for us to reflect. To bring us into this time of quietude, I share this thought. The most beautiful and deepest experiences one can have is the sense of the mysterious. One who has never had this experience seems to me, if not dead, then at least blind. To sense that behind anything that can be experienced, there is a something that our minds cannot grasp and whose beauty and sublimity reaches us only indirectly and as a feeble reflection. This is religiousness. And in this sense, I am religious. And so we pause.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועקוב ישראל,
Deneen, thank you so much for being our soloist, filling in on these last two Shabbats. Your beautiful voice has lifted our prayers heavenwards. Thank you so very much. And Dr. Ray, as always, it is a pleasure having you on the clavinova, adding your beautiful music to our services just to enrich ourselves in this beautiful Shabbat. To our video techie folks this evening, Chris Jastrock and Phil Carey. It looks like, David, you had the night off from behind the counter? You're on, okay. David Youngman is on standby. Thank all three of you for your help and your assistance. Although Shabbat is a time to abstain from work, our tradition teaches us that there is appropriate work that can be done on Shabbat when it entails the enhancement of the community. And so we turn to some handiwork with our power tools as we look to install our next 22-23 year board. But first, we want to acknowledge our 21-22 TBO Board of Directors. Our president, Dina Jastrock, vice president of the Religious Committee, Joe Tejas, vice president of membership, Florence Bornstein, vice president of education, Jeff Shear, our recording secretary, Sharon Kravitz, treasurer, Donna Burglas, our financial secretary, Scott Zwern, Ways and Means Chair, Leslie Berger, our Social Action Chair, Chris Jastrock, Senior Activities, Neil Rosen, House Committee, Sherry Held, our Publicity Chair, our Facebook maven and webpage maven, Susan Carey, and past President David Youngman. These folks have been at the helm during this past year, and what an interesting year it has been. Dealing with the ups and downs of this pandemic, finally be able to gather together, be able to share more normal kinds of experiences, going from no oneg to oneg, going from no meals to meals. It's been a roller coaster of a year. To share some parting words to our 2021 to 2022 board members, I invite Dina Jastrock for some presidential comments. Madam President, for a moment.
Just for now. Thank you, Rabbi Mark. As Rabbi said, it's been an interesting year, many challenges, and my 3-year term was full of many challenges as we started out, and then we closed down, and we tried to open up, and we closed down. We started all our meetings on Zoom, which was surprisingly successful. We had good attendance to our meetings on Zoom, and we actually managed to get a lot done. I give credit to all our various committee chairs. While the temple was closed, we took the opportunity to paint, to repave the front. And as you've all seen the results, we redid the social hall. We were able to have over 100 people in our social hall for our first in-person Seder in over 2 years. So we were able to get all that done. Our safety committee reformed. Harry Jacobs took over from Doug Kotkin, and we've really moved forward on having ushers and security training. It's been very important, as you know, in this day and age, that we're all very aware of our surroundings and who we let into the temple. Unfortunately, these are sad times. I'm very happy with what the board accomplished this year, despite all our difficulties. I truly appreciate all of Rabbi Mark's help, our weekly phone calls of support, encouragement, and ideas. And I want to say thank you to all the board members. I do have a small gift for all of you to thank you for all your hard work and for your cooperation in working with me. I want to thank the congregation as well for all your support and encouragement and kind words. Thank you all very much for the privilege and honor of letting me be your president for the last 3 years.
Don't go anywhere yet. I wish to invite David Youngman, the immediate past president, to come and to Dina share a few words with you as well.
All right, finally I get to come up here. Thank you, Dina. You've set quite an example, quite a standard that we're going to follow in your footsteps, and you're not going very far. You're going to be the past president, right? Yeah, so if Leslie and I go at each other's throats, you will be the judge. You know that, right? And you're going to vote in my favor all the time, right? Yes, my gavel, that's right. Did you bring it today? Okay, all right. Well, I don't know how you thank somebody who steps up to the responsibility of being a temple president. So we bought you something. It's a special gift we're going to give you, and I'm going to keep you in surprise so you can tell everybody else what it is. So I'd like to hand you this special gift that we're giving to you on behalf of the board. And it's gold. It's gold. Yeah, that's what it is. Right, everybody? That's okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Would you keep tapping the gavel back and forth?
I'd like to invite all of the members of the 2021 to 2022 board members who are here present with us to please rise. Dina Jastrock, Joe Tejas, Flo Bornstein, Jeff Shear, Sharon Kravitz, Donna Burglas, Scott Zwern, Leslie Berger, Chris Jastrock, Neil Rosen, Sherry Held, Susan Carey, and David Youngman. So, it has indeed been an interesting year, and for some of you this will be just a brief interlude. For others this might be a little bit longer, but you have weathered the storms, you have charted the tough waves, you have brought our congregation to this point, and having done so, you are now hereby formally uninstalled. You have no office, you have no position with this Temple Beth Or board, you have no meeting commitments, no nothing on your calendar as of this moment. You are hereby discharged. Thank you very much for your service. A round of applause for our outgoing board members. You may be seated. Like I said, for some of you, this might be a brief interlude, for some of you, a little bit longer. But we wish now to turn, because, nature abhors a vacuum, and so do nonprofit organizations, for-profit organizations, governments across the world abhor a vacuum. So, very quickly, let us welcome the 2022 to 2023 members of our Temple Beth Or Board of Directors. David Youngman, co-president. Wait, what happened? Oh, Leslie Berger, there she is, co-president. Joe Tejas, vice president of Religious Committee. Joyce Kessler, Vice President, Membership Co-Chair, together with Flo Bornstein, Vice President, Membership Co-Chair. We welcome Rita Rubin, our Adult Ed and Senior Activities person, Sharon Kravitz, our Recording Secretary, Donna Burglas, Treasurer, Scott Zwern, Financial Secretary. We welcome Carol Brennan, Ways and Means Chair, Chris Jastrock, Social Action Co-Chair, to be joined by Lori Rosenfeld, Sherry Held, House Committee, Susan Carey, Publicity, and Dina Jastrock, past president. Not yet. First, greetings from Leslie Berger, our co-president remarks.
So before I put on the co-president hat, I wanted to make sure I did a special thank you to Mike Kravitz for all his hard work at the fireworks booth. We sold almost as much as last year, and I want to thank all the volunteers who helped unpack, set up, sell, babysat the booth, and packed up. Special thanks to the incoming board for stepping up to become a board member. We have 3 new board members who have never been on our board, a couple of returning members. And David and I look forward to working with each one of you to continue our mission and make the temple a better place.
Oh, the Safety and Security Committee.
You missed.
Right, my bad. I am so sorry. Harry Jacobs, member of our Safety and Security Committee. And did not include our auxiliary representatives, Howard Levoot for Brotherhood and for Sisterhood. Joanne Kotkin. My apologies. I was just downloading the information from our webpage, so we need to formally update our webpage appropriately to make sure we get everybody's listed there. And those of you with pictures, we want to make sure we get you in there as well. Can we get a bit? Joyce's picture comes off our Facebook page because she hasn't submitted one yet to our webpage maven, so. Yes, that's the way it goes. You'll have to coordinate with others to make that happen. When we come to a board installation, in the past I have tried to find creative ways to install the members of our board with candy bars, with pithy statements of leadership, with tools, with all kinds of things. I'm going to return to the tool metaphor for us, but this is a very simple kind of metaphor, because in our toolbox, it's appropriate for us to have assorted tools. But if your only tool is a hammer, then everything you see is a nail. It's important to make sure that our toolboxes are stocked with appropriate tools, a rich variety of tools. Otherwise, we will simply respond with the tool that we have in our toolbox. And so, what tools would I like to encourage our board to put in their toolbox as we lead our congregation forward? Obviously, dedication, which is already readily available and readily present. The fact that you have stepped up to serve on the board, you are dedicated to this temple and to seeing the best that this temple can be. But I want to add another tool. I want to add the tool of compassion. The world has turned into such a harsh and mean place around us. The past few decades have seen an increase in hate clear across this nation. It is not only in politics, it is in families, it is in businesses, it pervades everywhere. We must counter that. As leaders of this congregation, it is my hope that you will add the big, hefty tool of compassion to your toolbox. Another tool that will be important for us will be open minds. All too often, leaders, not only of nonprofits, but leaders of businesses, become blind and stuck. Think of Sears. It was the Amazon of its day. Through the mail, you could order everything from clothing to appliances to a house to be delivered to your driveway. Sears was the Amazon. Their minds became closed in a brick and mortar facilities, and Sears is out. We cannot go by the way of Sears, but we will if our minds are closed. So it is my hope that you will add to your toolbox open minds. Another important tool, active listening. This means not trying to put together your response while the person is talking, but listening to their words, digesting their words, and then responding. It is difficult because leaders are leaders, and they come with an opinion, and they come with a direction which we want to have, and they come with a strong will which we want to have in our leaders. So it's a very difficult balance to listen to each other. Let us be sure we add that tool into our toolbox. A very important tool to include curiosity. Curiosity. This may come as a shock, but Temple Beth Or is like every other congregation in this nation. Every challenge we are facing, my colleagues tell me, guess what? Same thing. 1,500 families, 50 families in a congregation. The exact same problems. And so therefore it behooves us to be curious, how are they addressing the same challenges? Let us not reinvent the wheel. Let us learn from those who have already found a way. And so let's be curious. What are other congregations doing? How might we better respond? Let us add the tool of curiosity to our toolbox. Lastly, the tool of optimism. Optimism. We can solve any challenge. We can confront any obstacle. We can overcome all that which we are facing if we are hopeful. If we let cynicism take root in our hearts and our minds, we may as well close up shop. Judaism has proven over the last 4,000 years that hope and optimism is what will guide us into our future. We must add these tools to our toolbox because the world has changed dramatically just in the last 2 years, but it has certainly changed in the last 65 years. And if we are to have a future, we must bring all of our tools together, not just the hammer, but all of these tools we must bring if we're going to bring this congregation forward. And so again, I invite, with some additions, members of our 22 to 23 board, David Youngman and Leslie Berger, and Joe Tejas, and Joyce Kessler, and Flo Bornstein, and Rita Rubin, Sharon Kravitz, Donna Berglis, Scott Zwern, Carol Brennan, Chris Jastrock, Harry Jacobs, Howard Levoot, Sherry Held, Susan Carey, and Dina Jastrock as president, past president. And Lori Rosenfeld. I'm so sorry. Yes, we got to get your picture up here. There you are, Lori. If you all will please stand for a moment. I announced them. Yes, I did. Howard Levoot and Joanne Kotkin. Ladies and gentlemen, you have accepted the responsibility of leading this congregation in for this next year. In so doing, we join together as partners in this process, because that's how we will survive. As doing so, you have also agreed to bring all of the tools that you have, your creativity, your curiosity, your dedication, your optimism, your experience, your history, your you, to this congregation in order to help us face the challenges that we are facing, in order to help us grow and become the congregation that Temple Beth Or can be. If you are ready to accept that responsibility, I ask you to respond in the affirmative with a yes, or better yet, I will. Are you ready to accept these obligations? However it works. With that, consider yourself hereby duly installed as the Temple Beth Or Board of Directors for this coming year, 2022 and 2023. And we wish you all a hearty Mazel Tov, and better yet, B'Hatzlachem. Here's to your success. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our board. You may be seated. Dina, did you want to present or say or? Okay.
In gratitude for all the hard work of the outgoing board, I have a small gift to present to you, and thanks. It's a TBO board mouse pad, so our mice will be comfortable. And thank you all.
It is a tradition at Temple Beth Or that we mark special occasions with music. And for our board, which continues the journey of this congregation 65 years strong, continuing this chain of tradition that not only connects us to our past, but grounds us for our future. Deneen will present to the members of our 2022-23 board this following song about being part of that link of chain of tradition, the Dor Vador, from generation to generation.
We are gifts and we are blessing. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'dor vador nagid golecha. L'dor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. L'dor vador nagid god lecha. L'dor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
Thank you so much, Deneen. Beautiful. With that, we move to the conclusion of our worship service with the words of our Aleinu. I invite us to rise as we are able for the adoration. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts and our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. We call to mind those for whom we are observing the Shiva and Shloshim, the 7 and 30 days since their death. Lenny Lightman, the stepfather of Shari Rosen, Tim Manriquez, the brother of Joe Manriquez, Harleen Brow, friend of Sandy Block, and Stephen Z. Levoot, the brother of Ted Levoot and the uncle of Howard Levoot. And to all of you who have suffered deaths in the immediacy of these past days, we extend our hearts and compassion to you. To those names, we link the names of those whose yard sites have occurred during this past week: Aaron Kaplan, Ted L. Robinson, Ida Horowitz Spanner, Esther Cohen, Ben Bernstein, Lawrence Matthew Handel, William Mailberg, Ruth Haber Gold, Jerome Chudnoff, Barbara Tassoni, Fanny Cohen, Monroe Kreisberg, Nellie Gakda Markovich, Rose Post, Jenny Levine, Enid Schindel, Kenneth Richmond, Rose Lutsky Sokol, Jenny Newman, and Pauline Dean. To those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period: Sheldon Zinberg, Evelyn Levin, Gloria Austin, Dee Dee Ginter, Dorothy Bernard, Molly Shartoff, Erica Cherie Barnes, Kaylee Goldstein, Greg Wilford, Fred Fink, Joyce Ulibari, Ralph Goldstein, Marvin Asnes, Joel Jaffe, Norma Lippi, Claire Phillips, David Kaplan, Helene Lieberman, Laura Cutler, Marty Hershkowitz, Dottie Roth, Gerald Kramer, and Mark Lightman. If there's a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and our freedoms, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, members of our police, our firefighters and other first responders, the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace, and we add most tragically these members recently killed in Highland Park, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Zichronam livracha. To their names, in addition, we link the over 1 million Americans who have died from COVID-19, and sadly, just this past week, the 781 Americans who have died by gun violence. May again their memories be a blessing and a source of inspiration for us as we share together the words of our Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, V'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May all of us who mourn, and all of us who are bereaved, may we find through God's eternal presence a source of strength, courage, hope, above all a source of shalom, of peace. And let us all say, amen. We may be seated. Our history is such that we share joyous occasions, sometimes even amidst the tragedy and the harshness of life around us. But that is what we Jews do. We are commanded in our Torah to choose life, uvecharta b'chayim, and so we celebrate life even amidst the challenges of living life. This was true of inmates during the camps in the Holocaust. This was true of our people in good times. This was true of our people in bad times. And Shabbat comes and brings with it joy, even amidst the sorrow in which we live. Nevertheless, we toast the joy of this moment. We separate out this moment and acknowledge the blessings that are contained in this moment with the words of our Kiddush, so that we might be able to lift up our souls and lift up our lives and to share in that great phrase, l'chaim, to life, both its blessings and its curses. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim Rei, L'chaim Danin. To conclude our service with our new board, it's appropriate that we send them on their way with a new song. I invite us to rise as we are able. If you are comfortable putting your arm around the shoulder of someone next to you or holding the hand of someone next to you, please do so. as we share together a new song for our new board, Shir Chadash.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God all the earth, I'll sing along all the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Wait for it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tehavon. Now, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you.